Hello, my name's Earl, and I used to work in a dog food factory. My job at the factory was to make sure that all the dog food really stunk. You know how them dogs, they like their food to really stink? Well, every day I was to put stink stuff in all the cans of dog food. I was good at that job. One day I put too much stink stuff in dog food. Dogs didn't like it no more. So I had to leave, and I got a job at a budgie food factory. And my job there was every 100th little piece of budgie food, I'd have to paint it pink. But, you know, them scientists, they discovered that budgerigars are colorblind, so it didn't make no difference anyway. So I had to get retrained, and now I announce for comedians. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Lord of Comedy, the Dalai Lama of gags, Big Chief Many Giggles. Yes, please welcome Sean Locke.
All right, tigers. All right. Evening. All right.
Ooh, get carried away.
Lovely to be here. Lovely evening. Nice to have you here. I hope you're up for a bit of a laugh. That's quite important. If you're not, I'm knackered. No, I'm just saying. I'm actually not feeling too great myself tonight. Actually, I'm feeling a bit funny tonight, a bit weird. I've all got my hangover, I think. You know, not from drinking, though. Not from drinking. No, I think last night I got really pissed on life. You know, people get high on life. I got off my tits on it last night. I was walking down the street, right, and I saw these house martyrs just nesting in a little cottage. I thought, oh, isn't that beautiful? And then I saw these kids playing with a hook and stick along the street, and I thought, oh, bless them, that lovely. Then I saw this Hell's Angel, right, helping a mod zip up his parkour. Oh, and all that on an empty stomach. I was all over the place. Off my tits on life. I was all over the place. But it's either that or walking on the cobbles. You know when you walk around Edinburgh for all day long on the cobbles? It's quite difficult, isn't it? You know, because you have to compensate for all the cobbles all day long. And then you get on a bit of flat land. You're all over the bloody shop, aren't you? You get cobble sick. Do you find that people from Edinburgh when you go to a city with like normal flat roads falling all over the shop? You know? That's probably why they think Scottish people drink a lot, isn't it? You know. Oh, wasn't pushing me luck there then. Good. A load of blokes in the back with blue faces along here. Oh. See that film, Braveheart? I like that film. But actually, it's quite historically inaccurate, that film, you know. Because you know when he paints his face blue and goes into battle, he's mixing up Scottish history with the Smurfs, isn't it? Easily done, I suppose. Go to the Australian Library, 2 books, Scottish history, Smurfs. Who's this Father Abraham fella? Welcome to the show, come in. No worries, sit down. Good. Nice one. Off you go. Ooh, a tiger of Vaseline there. So anyway, welcome to the show. And that was a lovely welcome you gave me when I came out. It's quite important when you come out. Not quite as good as the welcome I had last night. A fantastic welcome last night. I came out, right, the whole audience, they'd all shaved their heads, yeah, right, and then they're all wearing different coloured swimming hats, right, then they made a lovely design with their heads, you know, like they do in the British Airways adverts, you know, all moving their heads around like that, and it said, welcome to Edinburgh, Sean, all in different colours, like that. But you couldn't be bothered, could you? I always wanted to sabotage on those British Airways adverts, you know, get on the island with a few bottles of vodka and some spliff and that and go, okay mate, right, you go that way, you go that way, you go that way. And when the plane flies over to take a photograph of the British Airways logo, instead there's a picture of an air hostess going, fly the flag. Only joking, sisters. I'm saucy but I'm not rude. Don't worry, I haven't got a clue. No, I like that. They made a bit of an effort, you know, with that welcome. And I really appreciate when people make an effort. It's great. That's why I like Starfish, actually. You know, a lot of people say to me, why do you like starfish, Sean? Oh, well, the reason is because they're always pleased to see you, aren't they? Hey! Come in, the water's lovely! No half measure of those little tigers, is there? Brilliant in here. They're fish with attitude. I love them for it, you know. It's like Sooty, isn't it? Sooty. All he does is that, isn't it? Sooty. That's all he does. Millionaire. You know, it's not bad for a piece of yellow cloth, is it? Because he makes an effort. It's very important, you know. Imagine how terrible life would be if people didn't make an effort. If, like, when you went into a cake shop and you ordered an eclair, the lady behind the counter went, what, that one? You went, yeah, sure, there you go. You wouldn't want it, would you? When you would order an eclair, you want the woman behind the counter to go, oh, that one, that big cream one there. Oh, you do tell me what speed that one's on, isn't it? Oh, you look at that, and funny you get that one. Oh, you tiger, and you go, oh, you know, it's all part of the deal, isn't it? You know, make a bit of an effort. It's like Archimedes, a bit of a jumping subject, doesn't it? Archimedes made a bit of an effort, didn't he? Got in the bath, all the water splashed over, and he came up with a displacement theory. He made an effort. If he'd been a lazy bastard, he could have got in the bath, water splashed over, looked over and invented the bath mat. He'd have probably made more money though, wouldn't he? You know, peach, beige, avocado, you know, little ones to sit down the toilet. Archimedes bathroom accessories. But the point is, he made an effort, and I like that, you know. Well, I went for a job the other day, and a bit of voiceover work. And I got the part. I didn't like it though. It was a speaking clock. You know, I didn't like the script. I said, you know, it's very boring, isn't it? You know, at the third stroke, the time sponsored by Accurate will be 3:25 precisely. It's a bit dull. Can't we jazz it up a bit? Say something like, "Knick knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. Christ on a bike, it's 9:30." You know. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a red fall. All of his horses, all of his men. Good men Humpty by 10:05. You know, so make a bit of an effort, liven it up. But no. Boring. Small minds. Big feet. Anyway, I've actually had loads of jobs for me in my life. I used to work in a mental home for a while. Yeah, doing wicker work mostly. You know, making stuff. You didn't get any money if you got food and special boots. I was happy. But, the most recent job I've had actually is I worked for Brian out of East 17. You know Brian? What I do for Brian is I'll dial the phones for him. I do the buttons up on his coat. Missing on. Come here, you little tiger, aren't you? In fact, the only thing he's good at, right, is eating chips. Get the picture? Measuring small fish. I've gone for hours actually. Flower arranging. No. Point is, you know, it makes a bit of an effort in life, and I like that, you know. I like to make a bit of an effort with my dress, in case you haven't noticed. Well, it's not a dress, obviously I'm not that stupid. No, the clothes, I like to make a bit of an effort, you know. I'm actually going for a very personal look at the moment. The look I'm going for at the moment is, you know that bloke who wanders around your town, like that, and he just walks around town like that? There's one in every town, they walk around town like that. And people say, see him? Yeah. He's brilliant at maths. Maths genius, apparently. Designed a helicopter when he was 8. Had a job at MI5, getting his cock out, had to sack him. Those blokes always got a lump on the back of their head, haven't they? You know, because they're so clever they can't quite stay in 3 dimensions. You know, going off into the fall. Well, the people I feel sorry for though with the fashion world mostly though is Iranian transvestites. You know. What sort of life is that? You know? What's the point? You know, they've only got one outfit. I'll let that one smoulder for a bit. I mean, they don't even need a shave, really, do they? They got those veils on. Nobody knows I'm a man. You can be a transvestite in Iran, couldn't you? You can have like tattoos, beard, pipe. Nobody knows the difference. What's your name, Miss? Rock Clan? Not a problem with it. We're talking of fashion. I actually went out recently. I went out in a full rabbit costume, big rabbit costume the other day. Not for a laugh, it was the only clean clothes I had. But, cheers. Normally I do that joke, I get carried around the room on the audience's shoulder. Some nights they don't take off, do they? Hot day in the sun, I understand. No, and apparently that's really trendy, that look, you know, the big rabbit costume wandering around. Loads of people walking around, you know. No. It's a new look, it's called the straggler from the London Marathon look. God, mate, keep going. I never work out quite why some things are trendy and other things aren't trendy. Because one week something's like trendy, next week it's not trendy. So, like, for example, it is trendy to have someone's name on your shirt, isn't it? Like Pierre Cardin, Paul Smith, Yves Saint Laurent, that's trendy. But it's not trendy to have your name written in biro in your collar, is it? Very similar, big difference. You know? And it's not trendy to go around the country in an old band playing old songs in like a super solid sound of the 60s roadshow. Ferry, cross the Mersey, ding 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 ding. That's not cool or trendy in any way, is it? No. But it is sort of trendy, cool, respectable, whatever, to go around the country in an orchestra, you know, playing someone's music who died 200 years ago. Yeah, and that's because they don't call it Beethoven's super solid sound of the 1780s roadshow. And the conductor doesn't turn to the audience and go, remember this one? And you get things like trendy shops now, don't you? Trendy shops like IKEA. It's like a really trendy shop, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know why, if you buy something you don't know what it is, do you? It's like a chair, lamp, what is it? Ah! Burnt the arse, I'm not doing that, get up, I bought a desk there the other day, turns out it's a soap dish. What's going on? What I like about IKEA though, what I really like about IKEA is, you know they have that thing for the kids, don't they, that pit of balls. You know, and the kids can all play in there while parents go off shopping. That's a great idea. But I think they should have one for the husbands. Yeah, a big pit full of girls in bikinis. And you just dive in. Here's your credit cards, love, see you in an hour. Hello Stan, how's that shit coming on? She comes and picks you up. Did you like that shot? And a bit like the kids one, the bloke in the corner in anorak crying. His wife didn't pick him up. And I got poked in the eye. Busy Saturday. A bit saucy but not rude. I thought that was quite cool. But when I go there, I don't call it IKEA, no. I call it IKEA! They don't like that. They say you're upsetting the other customers. I say, sorry mate, you write it, I say it. IKEA! I do that in all the shops. I go, is this boots? I need some Jones before it comes to boots! They say you're upsetting the other customers. I say, how do you expect me to say it? I mean, look how big you've written it, for Christ's sake! That says boots to me, mate. You write it big, I say it big, buddy, that's the deal. You write it small, I'll say it small. Boots, you know. Take control, kids, it's our world. So I don't want to get too political. I get carried away, we'll be marching flags, I'll have to sort of control you for years, and set up a little camp, wouldn't we? You know, you be in charge of, like, you know, all getting people together at night. I'm just rambling now. Anyway, usually there's a funny bit at the end, but there wasn't, so never mind. Many paths I wander down. See, sorry about this, but I've actually got a metal plate in my head, and I pick up signals off Czechoslovakian satellites, so it sounds like they've just flown over. Right, I was talking about trendy there, wasn't I? I was like, and also the government, you know, recently been worried about trendy teachers, haven't they? They say trendy teachers are failing children's education, aren't they? You know, I don't understand. I don't think those two words can go together. Trendy teacher. They don't fit, do they? You just can't put them together. They sort of go boing, boing, boing. All my teachers at school, you spend most of the time pulling their trousers up. You know. Today we're going to study kinetic energy. Oh. Kinetic energy is energy derived through movement. Oh, Christ. Might have a degree in physics, but what about a belt? What does a trendy teacher do? Like come into class and go, right kids, today we're going to study geography or acid jazz. What do you fancy? Or like chemistry, they go, right kids, today I'm going to ask you this question. Fluorine, uranium, carbon, potassium, oxygen, fluorine, fluorine. That's fuck off and chemical symbols. It took me hours to work that out. Well, I haven't got a lot to do during the day. It's that or neighbours. K, potassium, that's also how you work it out. You'll never forget that now, really, lads. It's chemistry, potassium, K, no. That's a good word. Now, I was sort of wondering what they do, these sort of trendy teachers. They come in with a microphone in the class and go, OK, class 2B, make some noise! Mental, 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 wiki, 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 wiki. You what, you what, you what? I found love in what have you found? OK, got a question for you. 4 times 4, 16. No, wrong. 4 times 4 is a great new club just opened up at Wardour Street. Playing an eclectic mix of dance, acid house, trip, hot, garage, techno, fluffy, handbag, backdoor stuff. Anyway. No, but I reckon you can't blame teachers because the education system fails them just purely. There's lots of reasons, isn't there? You know, we've got too many people in the classroom. Kids might be thick. Happiness. I reckon it's apathy. I reckon there's a lot of apathy about it. Because I do university gigs all over the country, and it's the same wherever you go. You go Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool, Glasgow, Edinburgh, London, wherever you go, it's always the same. You go out on stage, you chat to them, you say, what's it like here then? And they go, oh, it's shit here. And you say, why is that then? And they go, oh, I don't know. That makes it worse. And the point is, it's not shit, they're very good establishments, you know, they've worked hard for years, you know. And I'd actually, to show them what a shit university's like, I'd actually like to open a shit university, yeah. It'd be called the Shit University, in big 50-foot high brown letters, like that. The dot above the eye, big splatter, like. And to get in, you wouldn't have to do any exams, no. All you'd have to do is, you know those little games, where you've got to get a couple of little silver balls in Mickey Mouse's eyes. Done it, right, you're in, no problem, yeah. Record time, honours course. Top lad. And it would be shit, like English students, they just study the alphabet for 3 years, you know. Massive letters walking around a field, looking down. And business studies students, they run the tuck shop, sweeps, drinks, stuff like that. And geography students, they get their arms and legs chopped off and they have to crawl around on their eyebrows. So they get really close to the land. That's what I I'm not being serious, this is a joke, right? This isn't a manifesto, don't worry. I'm printing it up. The subjects I've always been interested in all my life really is hieroglyphics, you know, on the old tombs in Egypt, the hieroglyphics there, because they've been puzzling people for centuries. And I actually went over there, and I went in the tomb, and I saw the hieroglyphics, and I knew what they said instantly. It's so obvious, I couldn't believe they had a problem with it. I said, it's obvious what it says. Cat, dog, bloke, 2 blokes, cat, dog, side on, dog, bloke, cat, bird, woman carrying a tray, side on, dog, bloke, 2 blokes, bloke, cat. And they went, I said, look, it's there, I didn't think of that! The idiots, you know what I mean? They're so clever, but they don't look, do they? These boffins! I've always been interested in like little puzzles, competitions, you know, stuff like that. Not the lottery, I don't like the lottery, because for 2 reasons. Firstly, you're not going to win, are you? No. I was always waiting for someone to go, you want to bet, mate? Hey! Just won 5 million, but I haven't happened yet. In the audience, that's what I meant, you know. I'll tell you what, if they measured white of eye in a show, I reckon I'd win, you know, in the audience, you know, they'd like sort of did a graph, like how much white of eye was in the show. Anyway, no, you're not going to win, are you? You're not going to win, you might as well get your pound coin and go, who wants it? And secondly, the advertising, the chance to win the lottery was the same, 16 million to 1, and they say it could be you. That's very slack use of the word could, isn't it? It's not what I call could. I mean, if the weatherman said tomorrow it could rain, you think, oh, it might rain. If he said tomorrow there's a 16 million to 1 chance of rain, you're not going to go, Cancel the picnic! Get the washing in, rob the drains out, there's a twister coming! That's how people act when they buy a lottery ticket. They're not going to win. Forget it. I'll tell you a fact, right? This is a statistical fact. You've actually got more chance of crawling over a council tip and finding a magic fridge. Camelot trying to shut me up, but I'll speak out. Now, the sort of stuff I'm interested in, like game puzzles, like, you know, simple little stuff. Like, you know, like at village fetes, when you walk around a village fete, and there's like, the vicar's got like a jar of beans. You have to guess how many beans are in the jar. I like to go up to the vicar and go, yeah, I'll have a go. I reckon there's 3. And everyone in the village goes, ooh, we got a bit of a playboy in there. And then what I do is I bribe the vicar who's ever counting it to make sure that I win. And of course creates terrible discord in the village. They're all going, there was bloody loads of beans in that jar. It was full at the top, I saw it. And the vicar's going, no, look, there was 3, right? I counted them here. No, but it was packed up. He goes, no, look, there was 3. Look, what happens, it creates terrible discord in the village, you know, that lovely little rural dream they've brought into, that lovely idyllic life, that perfect little world, suddenly it doesn't become so attractive, it seems to be shattered and cracked at the edges, knowing that corruption is so easily available in their midst. Perhaps it's everywhere, but this beautiful world that they thought they had no longer seems perfect anymore, and they just feel sullied and dirty, and they move out of the area. I buy up the land, build executive homes, make a fortune. Of course I don't, too lazy. But, nice idea. Work like that. Anyway, a little tip for you. Never read a pop-up book about giraffes. That's very dangerous. Now, my favourite sort of competitions are those spot the difference ones. You know, spot the difference ones where you get like 2 pictures of a kitchen, like News of the World, and you say, what's the difference between 2 pictures? It's self-explanatory, really. Never know what I explain to you, but you know. And I did one recently, and what I said, the first picture had a real pre-Raphaelite quality to it. Balance and symmetry in the lines give one a sense of order in the universe, a sense of man's conquest over his own environment in flat surfaces and shapes. You know, and ripening innocence like a field of corn. I said the second picture lacks conviction. The ideas have no moral base. They are fragmented and ill thought out. The whole piece leaves one feeling irritated and helpless, especially the cupboards. And I just got a little letter back from him saying poof. But News of the World, no sense of humour, have they? Bit warm, isn't it? Not too warm tonight, got the doors open. Drafts coming up through. The other night's been very warm. And after some air conditioning, they just gave me a little dwarf blowing out that curtain. Didn't made it up. Right. So I'll just pull this back a bit, get a bit more air in there. Yeah. I didn't write this bit in the show, by the way. Mate of mine went to the doctor's the other day, and because he's got a moustache, and that's not normally a problem, I know, you know, but he doesn't want one. You know, he can't stop it growing. He has a shave in the morning, back by 11 o'clock. Has a shave at lunchtime, it's back by 3. If he doesn't shave for a couple of days, it goes completely out of control. Yeah, it looks like a bloke peeking over a hedge. He grows, right, and knocks pennies across tables, you know, like a nice chalet. No, I made that bit up. But the doctor said, he said, what you want to do is you want to comb that out, lacquer it, paint it yellow and pretend you're a duck. Health service, falling apart at the seams. But what can we do here? Actually, talking to doctors, I share actually the same doctor as Noel Edmonds. And he told me something very shocking about Noel. You know Noel Edmonds, right? He hasn't got a body. No. He's all jumper, right the way through. V-neck, polo neck, crew neck, Aaron cardigans, right the way through. If you see him at a party, he hasn't got a drink. He's got one of those little aerialette plastic balls full of fabric softener. Cheers. And he chucks a bit on himself and he feels all springy and fresh. You don't want to dance, I feel pine fresh. I bumped into this bloke the other day, told me he was a ventriloquist. Well, he didn't, this little monkey did, but who'd you believe? You know that Delia Smith woman, right? I'm just getting serious. You know that Delia Smith woman? I reckon she's a witch. Yeah, because I followed her recipe for Christmas pudding and summoned up the devil. What's going on there? And he's quite a nice bloke, actually. Yeah, he keeps bats, bless him. And we had him round for Christmas dinner, you know, because it's Christmas, he's on his own. And we gave him some slippers, because his hooves make so much noise on the stairs. And he gave me the power to turn stale bread into avenging pigs. What a lovely day. But he did say to me during the course of the afternoon, we're all a bit pissed actually, we're all a bit pissed. It was during a lull in charades. And my gran was trying to do 7 brides for 7 brothers. It takes hours. 4? No, you can't speak, gran, no, for Christ's sake. Anyway. So the devil, he fixed me with his stare. I tell you what, when he stares at you, you know what he means stare at. And he stares at me, and he says, I'll say something, Sean. He says, I don't like people. No. no. He said, I don't like men, I don't like women, I don't like children. He said, but I like you. I said, yeah, and me vodka, you little tiger. Come here. I bloody love you, you're alright, you. Smashing bloke, really is, you know. You don't want to believe what you hear about it, you know, it's all lies. I really believe in that. I really should take people on face value. You shouldn't like just believe stories you hear about them, you know, you should find out what they're like. Give you an example. I was in the urinals earlier on, and this bloke came up next to me, right, and pissed in my eye. And I said, excuse me, what's going on? You know, that wasn't too aggressive, was it? And he said, I'm terribly sorry. He said, I have a lot of piercings in my penis, he said. And I had one taken out recently. Never know, I put my finger over the hole in the top. He said, urine shoots out the top of my penis, you know. And I said, fair enough, because we need to go bloke, you know. And I said, let's have a look at your penis then. And he got it out, and it was just full of metal. Yeah, full of metal. It had all these studs in the back of it, right? They're called empalins, apparently, all these little studs there. Then you had all these rings through the helmet bit, right? They're called Prince Alberts, right? Then you had all these devil's bands around it. They're sort of silver bands all around. It's not true, this. Look at me like that. Oh my God. Don't worry. Right. Between his arse and his bollocks, there are those little bells, little silver bells. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-ding-ding. Inside his legs, he had all horse brasses in it. Beautiful. Oh, polished up a treat, they really were, all the way down there. Really spent some time on a bit of Duraglit. He didn't have shoes on, he was on a little marble plinth. Snooker champion 1976. No, I made that bit up. I can't stop myself. I said to him, I said, why have you got all that metal in your penis? And he said, well, actually, it heightens pleasure during sex. I said, why don't you just go a bit with someone you fancy? He went, I didn't think of that! I always think though, you know, people who have a lot of piercings, I can't see them really pierced people because I haven't got my glasses on. You know. I normally wear glasses, don't wear them on stage, you know. Not for vanity's reasons, I look great with them on. But, oh no, cheeky. No, I don't wear them because of the lights and everything, it reflects them and they're quite cumbersome. And I always feel people take liberties with you if you wear glasses. You know, people, I don't know if other glasses wearers have this, but people come up to me and just take my glasses off. They go, don't take your glasses off. And you go, oh, thanks a lot, I'm blind. What a nice little joke that was. Then they put one and go, bloody hell, you are blind, aren't you? How can you see anything with these two? Bloody hell. Like, you don't got someone in a wheelchair go, let's have a go in there. How do you get about in there then? What am I saying? I got to your granny and go, let's try your teeth, granny. How can you have a hot But anyway, I was talking about piercings there, got a bit sidetracked with something funny. And, you know, people have piercings in their face, you know, piercings up there and all around there. And I always think they've got a bit of a shock value to them. And I don't think they make enough of it, you know. I think they should pretend they really hurt all the time. You know, walk down the street going, oh, bloody hell, oh, Jesus, oh, my nipples, what have I just done? Oh, keep doing it to get along. That'll do. And, you know, just want a bit more of it. Well, I thought the other reason you could have, like, piercings, like rings in your nose and your ears, if you're feeling a bit ill, a bit broken down, you can get, like, a tow home off your mates. Oh, cheers, mate. It's off once on 4, lovely. It's all like a human AA service, you know. Just a little idea I had. I don't expect to be written down against me, evidence. I don't like the AA service, I've got a real problem with the AA service, I tell you. Main reason I don't like the AA service is they say they reckon they're the 4th emergency service, don't they? Which obviously they're forgetting about Peter's delivery. Then there's mobile dog grooming, isn't there? Pete's Perfect Pets, you know. If you've ever had an unkempt poo at 3 o'clock in the morning, you don't call the AA, do you? You know what I mean? And then there's that bloke, Mad Dave, comes around your house Wednesday afternoon, wants to cut your hedge for a few quid, isn't it? Yeah. He's run out of money. Can't cut your hedge. No, Dave, no. Oh, cut your hedge. I haven't got a hedge, Dave, alright? Oh, cut your hedge. I live in flats, Dave, no hedge. Trip me doormat? Just... But the AA, they are the fourth emergency service if you're a woman, aren't they? So if you're a woman, you break down on your own at night, your ultimate priority, you know. A man can break down for 3 to 4 hours, but a woman breaks down, van goes straight to her, right? Over there, her head over there. And goes straight to her, you know. I think that's a ridiculous way of treating men. What do you think we are? Do you think we can just like fend off attackers all night long? Biff! Ha ha ha! Don't worry about me, I can hold them off for at least another 3 hours. Whoa! Take that, Buster. Ha ha! This one's got a gun. Not for long, I'll tell you. Would you come any quicker if I told you I was a transvestite? No, fair enough. Someone should explain to the AA, right? They're not knights in shining armour. They're mechanics. Very important that is, isn't it? You know? Talk about glamorising your job just because they've got some matching yellow vans. They think they're like the police force, the ambulance service, you know. So what? Where does that leave ice cream men then? They're like the fifth emergency service, aren't they? Oh, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. Ding, 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 ding. The ice cream man, the Fringe you never knew you had. Or those blokes that sell cockles and whelks outside pubs in little vans, you know, where do they come in? The North Lothian Region Emergency Whelk Service. Our motto is, Whelks! But what I like to phone up the AA. I like to phone them up and I go, hello, is that the AA? Is that the AA? They go, yeah. Oh, you got to help me, my house is on fire, broke me arm, there's burgers in the loft, please help me. They go, sorry, I only deal with vehicles. No, your emergency service, you promised to help me, please help me. So I only deal with cars, vehicles, not meant to go, no, help me, I'm going to die. Help me. They go, Connor, you lied to me, didn't you? You lied, you're not nice, sorry, you're not nice, you're bad, you lied to me, you lied. I tell you what, I hope you suffer the way I'm suffering now. I tell you what, I hope when aliens land, they see your yellow vans and they think you're the army. Yes, and they attack you, and then you'll ruin the day, and your vans reckon you really clever. Of course, by that time they've hung up, but makes me feel better. Oh, so I might go now. Nobody started shaving their heads yet. Never mind. I had a bit of a shock the other day, actually. My parents found out I was gay, which was news to me, I can tell you. I just went round with my girlfriend for a cup of tea, and they said, sit down, son, there's something we're going to tell you. You're a homosexual. Apparently, right, I've been outed by a local militant group, yeah. They work on the 1 in 8 theory. We live at number 8, I was knackered! But they still won't believe me, no? I think they're a bit trendy, they quite like the idea. Because I was watching the athletics with my dad, and Linford Christie came on. And he's going, oh, Sean, oh. But you wouldn't mind having that rammed up. I said, leave it out, Dad, for God's sake. Then my mum comes in and goes, dinner's ready, it's your favourite, sausages, big fat juicy ones, just like cocks. I went, oh. And they start flicking yogurt at me, going, do you like that, do you like that, no. Saucy, but not rude. You're doing the work, not me. Start phoning me up in the night going, does it hurt? Oh. I must explain, I've got a bit of a strange family. Like my brother Paul, he's a bit mental, you know you do that thing where you poke someone in the chest and they look down and you go, ha ha, got you. It's great, laugh. We do that to Paul, he goes, what? There's nothing there. Why'd you get that? Look at him, what's the point? I don't see what. And I was having a pipe with him in the pub the other day, and suddenly he just put his pipe down and went, shit, he said, I've got double maths, and ran out the pub. And it turns out, right, he's never been able to rub out his third-year school timetable from his mind. He learnt it really well, and it got stuck in there. He out shopping with his wife and goes, shit, geography, crush. And my dad's a bit strange. He used to play this game with us when we were kids. I don't know if you used to play this game. It was called Spine in a Sack. Did you play that? And you know that game, Spinal Set? What you do is you get a roadkill, like a badger or a dog or a cat, and what you do is you whip the old spine out, like that, and then you jumble up all the vertebrae in a sack, right? Then you used to get the sack and you bounce it on our heads, me and my brothers, right? And we had to guess what animal it was. You didn't do that? I was brilliant at it, never got it wrong. Chipmunk Dad, yay! Mustard Bloke, yay! Don't worry, you'll forget about it. My mum was strange, but she actually my mum got thrown out of a Beatles concert in the early 60s. She was sitting in the front row, instead of screaming and shouting at them, she was doing armpit farts. She was going It wasn't her fault, that was the way she was taught to show appreciation in her family. Similar people came from a small village, that was her. She doesn't like the Beatles anymore though, no. She's really into, she likes that, you know that guy Richard Clayderman? You know that guy Richard Clayderman? He's always in that sort of milky haze, and wherever he goes. Soft, sort of blonde like pianist. Crap at darts, man. But, and he's all flourish as well, isn't he? When he plays piano, he hardly touches the keys. It's like, he barely exists, really. All he eats, right, the tops of dainty little cakes. That little silver ball. Just enough to keep me in my ethereal existence. His trousers are made out of doilies. But, if you see him live though, he doesn't have that lovely haze around him. So what his fans have to do, they take a little pot of Vaseline along and just smear it in their eyes. Then he's all cloudy again. Just like in the videos. Right, actually my mum doesn't do that though, because she's not very good with makeup. You know, there's women who aren't very good with makeup. You know, as long as they sort of get it a bit too much on, you know, get a bit carried away, go, put my makeup on. She's at that blurry stage where makeup becomes face painting, you know. I used to go home somewhere and goes, oh, it's a big cat. Oh, sorry, Mum, Jesus Christ. Oh, something about the zoo. Oh, bloody hell. She also thinks hand cream's dangerous if you get it on your leg. She goes, no, it's my hands are burning. Marketing, don't understand, do you? Because like my parents don't understand marketing, advertising at all. They get really upset if they see an advert, right, and they can't afford the product, you know. They get really worked up. They think adverts are like public information films, you know. Like, my mum really worried about the amount of toilet cleaner she's using. She's already using 4 different types of toilet cleaner, you know, because each one cleans the toilet better than any others. But she can't even sit on their toilet, no. You just hover above it on the fumes. And that's the end of that bit. Let me warm it. I'd actually, like now, like to calm things down if I can control you guys, but I'll try. I'll talk a bit about relationships because one something that's interesting me about relationships is you can really love someone, you can get on great with someone, things can seem perfect, right? But if you just disagree on one thing throughout your relationship, just one little thing, slowly it drives a wedge between you, and over the years that eventually splits you apart. And with me and my last girlfriend, Vanessa, it was balloons. Now, I know it sounds stupid, but we just argued about balloons all the time, you know, always argued about balloons. And I've written a little song, basically, about this, and I'd like to do it for you now, if I can. If I don't get too emotional, obviously, it's an emotional song. So here we go, here you go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. You say inflatable, I say inflatable. Let's call the whole thing off. You say bouncy castle, I say rubber fort. Let's call the whole thing off. Inflatable, inflatable, bouncy castle, rubber fort. Let's call the whole thing off. Whistle solo. See, I've got talent. Let's call the whole thing off. You say dirigible, I say bloody massive great big balloon thing. Let's call the whole thing off. You say driver's airbag, I say inflatable safety device. Let's call the whole thing off. Dirigible, bloody massive great big balloon thing. Driver's airbag, inflatable safety device. Let's call the whole thing off. Thank you very much, thank you. Still in the building. show was inspired by Genesis 1976 Edinburgh. That bloke with a massive thumb. No, we didn't actually just argue about balloons. We used to argue a lot about the kids, you know. She reckoned I should have some friends of my own age, but... No, I like having kids. You have more fun, don't you? No, the parties are much better than ours. Your grown-up parties. You have better food, better entertainment. And if you start a fight, they don't call the police. No, they just slap you on the wrist, make you stand in the corner for half an hour. You know, it's much more civilised, isn't it? I used to gate crash a lot of kids' parties. I used to go around the town looking for a house load of balloons outside it. Walk up, knock on the door. The parents would answer. I go, oh hello, yeah, I'm a mate of Tommy. Yeah, little fella. You know, he likes sweets. You know, he's always running around pretending he's a car with his shorts. Kick football around, you know, guys every now and again, you know? No, fair enough, okay. But she just chucked me out one day. She just said, get out of my flat, get out of my life, I'm sick of you, just go. And I put everything I owned in 2 pillowcases, which is quite handy really, because all I owned was 2 pillows. But, dude, these are Blackpool stormy, I'll tell you. But what's happened now is I'm really lucky now, because I've realised from previous mistakes, and I've met a girl I just get on perfectly with, because we met through Dateline. You know Dateline? Yeah. Where you fill in a form, you put down all the things you like, and they match you up with somebody who fills a form out the same as you. And we just get on fantastically. Perfect, because everything we both like doing. We just sit around the house all day long, and she says, do you like pets? And I go, yeah. Brilliant. Do you like gardening? No, horrible. You're so romantic and reliable. Just like you. What should we do now then? Well, we could listen to some jazz stroke folk music. Or go travelling. Then there's always wine and stroke dining, mixing with friends. Doesn't matter, whatever we do, we both like doing it. We've filled the forms out exactly the same. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Fill the form out the same as me. There's a couple of problems with it. One is there's certain things I like doing which aren't on the form, you know, and you have to make assumptions, don't you? Like I thought because she ticked country walks and adventurous personality, she would enjoy badger baiting. But I was wrong. Took a risk, didn't pay off. We also both of us ticked candlelit dinners, but I did it because I had my electric cut off. But didn't bother that one. I don't like candlelit dinners. No, seriously, I don't like candlelit. The reason I don't like candlelit dinners, I don't like that thing where couples are like staring at each other across the candlelit table. No, you got the idea. And they do that thing where they put their hand over each other's hands like that, and I don't like that. What I do when I'm sitting opposite my girlfriend is I go as if I'm going to do that. Like that. And just so I'm over her hand, I'll nip off to the right and rearrange the food on her plate. And then come back, she didn't notice. You know? And, the reason I do that is she's got this really annoying habit. It drives me bloody mental. What she does is she doesn't keep all the peas on her plate in one area. You know what I mean? She lets them just go all over the place. You know, I just go, why don't you just keep your meat, potatoes there? Then they wouldn't roll down underneath and get trapped under everything, would they, for Christ's sake? Drives me bloody mad! Because what happens then is you get the peas, they get trapped under the meat, don't they? You know when that happens, and the weight of the meat, that squashes the peas, and all that horrible green ooze comes out. Oh! And that's like some sort of slime, isn't it? And that goes in the brown of the gravy, and you've got this horrible green and brown river. It's like a river of decay and filth and decomposing slime and shit. And I just see my own reflection in the glaze of the new potatoes disappearing into this river of virtual death and decomposing, putrefying, rancid rancor. Oh, it's disgusting. And it reminds me of all the beauty in the world, us here now together, will one day end up rotting in the bowels of the earth, all the dogs and the worms in just filth and shit, and a putrefying hell of rancid filth. And sometimes it gets so bad, I have to nip off the toilet to rearrange it all and bring it back. But we've sorted it out now, and you know, mostly she orders scampi, one bite stuff. No problem there. So. Anyway, I'm back now. So that Imelda Marcos, she's a strange woman, isn't she? You know, change the subject. You know Imelda Marcos, married to Ferdinand Marcos, one of the world's famous dictators, brutal, murdering, thieving dictator. But she's not famous for that. She's famous for collecting shoes. How'd that happen then? How come I get an interview there, go, what's it like being married to a murdering, mass murdering, killing, thieving bastard? They go, oh, bought some new shoes, isn't it? Well, they must have had a strange life together, you know. When she came home, she was going, oh, my slipper's gone out of fashion. He's going, Christ, I just nicked £4 million. Obviously didn't meet through Dateline, did they? But apparently she was meant on shoes. She used to buy shoes all the time. Her whole life was shoes, shoes, shoes. She even used to buy shoes when she wasn't buying shoes. See what I mean? She'd go to a supermarket, say, 2 pints of milk, take up 2 cartons of milk, and go up to the counter and go, can I have these in a size 5? And the checkout girl, because she was like dictator's wife, goes, yeah, no problem, like that, yeah. And she goes, oh, I think I'll try them on. She goes, do you like my new milky shoes? My new milky shoes? And I go, oh, it's Mum. I said, lovely those milky shoes. She goes, like a real princess in your milky shoes. And she goes, the checkout girl goes, you look like a nice pair of shoes. What size are you? She goes, oh, I'm too big for you, I'm size 10. She goes, oh, I don't have a thick pair of socks, I'll try you on. I can try my new shop assistant shoes. And that, she goes around like that, and the shop assistant their face, and start shouting stupid bollocks in your ear at night. You're a bus. Oh, you're not, you're a pig. But you only eat jelly. But all the jelly's kept in your uncle's socks. So he said, look, his foot's twitching, he's all over the place. But your uncle's house is guarded by Barry Manilow. Yeah. And he's got a sharpened hubcap. Then the whole population of Leicester turn up, demand you become mayor. But only if you can mend these 500 broken watches. You've got kickstarters, can't do it, can you? And another one goes, get out of the way, let me have a go. Right. You borrow a helicopter, right, but you lose it. So you borrow another one to find that, but you lose that one. Then you borrow another helicopter to find the other 2, you lose that as well. You're in a terrible state, right? All the chocolate in your pockets melts. And ruins Mariah Carey's leggings. Which she lent you while she was making your roof. Because she's doing roofing jobs in the area. With Diana Ross, got a little firm there. Diana concentrates on the guttering and Mariah does all the felting work. Anyway, next minute you find yourself, you're lying on a giant haystack. It's hurtling on a railway track about 100 miles an hour. You're just trying to hold on. You're wearing your granddad's vest and your sister's knickers. You go through a tunnel, you come out the other side, there's all priests and nuns chucking pegs at you like that. And in the signal box, a pope's pouring warm milk into a child's eyes. And so you go, God, you'll frighten the life out of him. See that? You'll move house. Then we go, right, okay, I've got it for you. You're really hot. Oh, you're really hot. Now you're cold. That's really hot again. Oh, you're cold. Oh, you're hot again. Oh, you're cold. Oh, then we'll look at it again. Is that what you come up with? So the last one goes up and goes, right, okay, this is happening to you now. You're in a nightclub, very trendy nightclub. It's called the Breakfast Club. You're looking good, you're feeling good. You're wearing an Armani silk linen suit, shirt by Hugo Boss, shoes by Johnny Moke. You see a beautiful woman across the room. You go to the bar, order 2 bowls of crunchy nut cornflakes. An Italian goat's milk. You stroll over to her, cool as a lizard in slippers. Just as you get there, you feel completely stupid. You haven't got a chance with this woman. There's a bloke sitting next to her. He's got full English breakfast. Everything. Egg, bacon, sausage. You've even got bubble and squeak. You've got everything. You haven't got a chance. You drop the bowls, run out of the club. Bouncers give you a bit of a cuddle, send you back in. You see another beautiful woman sitting there, took 2 slices of toast. You sit down next to her, whip out a pot of Marmite, get on great. So just go back to your place. She says fine. You leave the club, walk up to your car, then you realise you drive a clown car. You both dive in through the windscreen, set off up the road. Every time you go around the corner, the doors fall off. And if you're putting custard pies in her face, you get speed up. You stop outside your house, she goes flying through the windscreen, lands in a barrel. Pull her out, say, do you want to come in my place for a coffee and help me wash my elderly parents? And years later, you're in Oslo, collecting the Nobel Prize for digging. They call your name out, you stand up, you haven't got any trousers on, everyone laughs. You turn to her for support, but she's not there anymore, it's just a badge with wife written on it. And you feel very cold, because everyone's blowing on you and disappear. But, well, it's sort of an ending, isn't it, really? You know, it's not actually a finish, but But it's just a theory. Like, I don't expect to be taken seriously by the scientific community, obviously. Or in the Lancet. Anyway. Not too hot, is it? Not too hot, anyone? Oh, you know, all right? Good. Oh, yes. Wonder why you're all staring at me. It's very intense, this one. You're all sitting there. I know all offenders do sit around tables, smoking, drinking, and look around, but here it's just like, it's all like you're all in like those bosun's chairs and just swinging above me. No. Right, do some material, haven't I? Yeah, the improvising's just shit tonight. Actually, I'm a bit pissed off at the moment. I'm not. I'm happy as Larry, but the sake of the joke, I pretend I am, because otherwise it wouldn't work. But I don't want you know how concerned you got earlier about the piercing. I don't want you going, oh, he's not well. So I'm not, but for the sake of the joke, cheers. Because this old bloke, right, this old fella lives next door to me. He doesn't. I live on top of a pole, nobody for miles, but... Sake of the joke, go with it. But you know, this old bloke, he's always moaning, you know, moan. I play a bit of music, he's always banging on the walls, and I think, sod it, I'm not turning up for anybody, buy his own stereo. I'm selling, buy his own stereo. Anyway, and he's always saying to me, I fought in the Second World War for you, sonny, I fought in the Second World War. And I've tried explaining to him, they had got captured by the Germans during the Second World War, and they switched side you on. I said, you wouldn't have said Sean Locke, would you? So, technically, you didn't fight for me as an individual, you fought for a state, which I was born into, through accident, so you have no rights over my destiny. And he has a very similar response to you guys. He goes, what? Stay away from my cats, right? But when he pisses me off, I've got a special treat for him. What I do is I go down the shops, get 30 bottles of milk, leave them outside his front door, and wait for the police and social services to smash his door down. That's brilliant fun, that is. He's in the kitchen chasing a fish finger around the frying pan. I can't hold it. They come crashing through the door. Why aren't you dead? Leave me alone. Then they arrest him for wasting police time. Triumphant. And when they take him away, what I do is I nip in his flat and kill his budgie with a teaspoon. It takes ages. God. Of course I don't do that. There's nothing there, is there? But you may, some people get upset about that, you know. I find that quite stunning, but some people get upset about the idea of me killing an imaginary budgie car with an imaginary teaspoon. Isn't that incredible, isn't it? Never happened. People go, I always find it amazing. People always seem to get upset about the wrong things. They get upset about something like that, but they don't get upset about, if they really want to be angry about the way animals are treated. But the people they should moan about are farmers, you know, those tossers, wanking, farming bastards. I hate them, scumbags, I call them, gate-swinging fucking wankers. I hate them, tossers, they really are. I tell you what, because this whole BSE thing, big mistakes gone on here, really pissing me off. Everyone said the cows went mad, passed disease on to humans. No, the farmers went mad, passed disease on to the cows, didn't they? Yes, because they fed cows which are vegetarian, diseased sheep brains. And that's mental, isn't it? Yeah. If cows were meant to eat sheep, they'd have big teeth, claws, like that, and powerful hind legs, wouldn't they? Like, not hooves, molars, a big fat wobbly arse. Anyway, cows when they catch a sheep, you just fall on it. Got one! And suck it to death. Verbal. No, they went mad, the tossers. Because and the reason they went mad, they must have gone mad. They must have gone mad. Every time they open a bag of fertiliser, half of it goes up their nostrils, so they're off their tits anyway. And also, they eat those jazz chickens, don't they? You know those jazz chickens? Those genetically mutating chickens. They just change every day, don't they? Experimental chickens. Like 1 minute it's a normal chicken, like then it's got 8 thighs, monocle tusk. Then it's just a steaming blue cube. They're off their tits. I don't know what's going on. Someone said, what are the cows in? They go, I don't know, sheep. You sure it's not grass? No, it's too chewy. Good for sheep. The fact they said sheep is just a coincidence. They could have said anything. They could have said parrot sphincters. You know, anything. You know. Parrot ring is fun to stick with hula hoops. Point is, that's what I would have said. But point is, there's no point killing the cows. Won't get rid of the disease. No, you got to kill the farmers. Yes, shotters. Get them a big pit. Easy to get them in there. Tell them some kind of EEC subsidy. They look like a shop. Horrible job, but I'll do it, don't lie. Fucking wankers. And what annoys me most of all about this is they messed up, they screwed up, right, and we have to pay for it. Billions of pounds come out of our tax to pay because they screwed up, you know. You know what I mean? I find money should go to schools or hospitals, goes to them. Because they couldn't do a simple job like get a cow to eat fucking grass. You know what I mean? How'd you fuck that up? 4 foot, cow's mouth, grass. Ooh, got a sheep in the way. Alright. Fucking idiots. Next time you see one leaning on a gate with a bit of grass, just kind of go. That's all from me. Thanks very much, and good night. Thank you.